Hello everyone, and thank you all for coming to World Mental Health Day 2023. After trying that in my own life several times a few years ago, I decided I wanted to do more to help other people not to suffer like I did. So that's why I started Construction Buddies and Bentley Mental Health. But with mental health issues in the construction industry costing between 70 and 100 billion pounds per year, it's time we actually done something about it. And deaths in construction is still 2 a day. Obviously, everyone's trying to reduce that, but it doesn't seem like it's happening. But also, we're getting deaths in construction, not just suicide, but deaths in construction are up by 55% this year. But again, we need to do something about this. We can't sustain this constant sort of year after year. What are we doing to reduce this? So many groups are doing their little bits, but we need to start teaming together because I do my own little bit, but I say I can only do so much on my own. I've got no one else works with me, I just do everything myself. But we need to start working together as a team because that's the only way we're going to solve the issues. Otherwise, everyone does their little bits, and a lot of times we're doing the same things. So we need to see what we can do to change that. We need to improve the construction industry with workers not going to the pub each night. If we can try to encourage workers not going to the pub, think of the money they save for one thing, which could be a mortgage on a house. They don't go home after being hammered and have a row with their partner or whatever and cause mental health issues there. They don't wake up the next day with a hangover and go to work and feel crap the next day. Let's actually show them obviously what they can do by not doing that. We need to work with them and try to mentor them, just encourage them, to sort of like show them the way that we can actually make the world better. But also I want to look at how we can improve workers and managers' attitudes, because some of the attitudes you get out on site that I worked on before, it's not nice at all. Because so many workers out there at the moment are cutting corners on safety and quality and ticking boxes and things like that. Not just the workers, but managers, because a lot of times they just want to get home, a lot of times just to the pub. But the more we can do to sort of educate them, to help them, then it's more the industry is going to be getting better. But also with banter on site, at what stage does banter become bullying? And we need to pick up on that because it's so much happening there in the industry. And as I say, Paulette already mentioned it earlier on, it can lead to sort of very serious issues for people. But also with the CSCS stuff changing next year in 2024, that everyone has to have an NVQ. You imagine the amount of people, old people like me, or older people that's obviously got a vast amount of years experience. I've been in the industry now 49 years, but I've got an NVQ, but there's a lot of people out there that's going to suffer to get an NVQ because some of these exams and stuff like that are really tough. So more we can do to help them the guys that are suffering. If they are suffering, we need to say, look, we can give you help and support to actually get your NVQ or whatever you need to keep into work, because I think it's something like I think the statistics the other day was something like about 40,000 people could be out of work next year because of this new CSCS cards that they have to have with the NVQ. So the more we can do to help the guys, because we can't afford to lose that valuable talent that we've got out there. Say all those years of experience that they've got, we're going to lose all that, and we need to see what we can do to help them. And also workers out there with neurodiversity. Now, obviously, this covers quite a wide area, but I want to see what we can do to help them, because we've got so much, talent in the industry out there, but we're not using their full potential. We should be helping them, because I know my stepson years ago, he had ADHD, Asperger's, and I went on a course on how to speak to him, but he was so talented. He was so clever with his hands. I built him a ship in his bedroom with cannon holes and stereo in there and stars on the ceiling. That way he could actually focus on him. He had his own little space, his own little man cave, or whatever you like to call it. He had his own space, and that helped him a lot. throughout his sort of like his childhood, which that's what we need to do. We need to help people, mentoring them from old people, say older or more experienced people like me, to help them gain better education and things like that in the future. What I want to do is get into colleges and schools and see what we can do to help people before they get mental health issues, because we know that obviously out there's so many people suffering mental health, and there don't seem to be much people going into schools and actually seeing what we can do to help people with the younger generation, and that's what I want to do. What I did before, because I recently walked off a construction site because I was asked to do stuff that would put lives at risk, and the manager, even though I'm a manager myself, I was asked to do stuff that was actually put lives at risk. And when I said to the contracts manager the high risk that someone could fall to from the third floor window with what they asked me to do, and he said, Mike, you're looking at worst case scenario, he could only fall to the second floor. But that's the way the attitude of the industry is, and there's so much cutting corners on the industry, and that's why I use 50% of my wage, or was using 50% of my wages until I put myself out of work by refusing to work on that with that company anymore. And that's why I now, my plan in the future for 2024 is to do a lot of mental health talks and go around and try to help people as much as I can. I've used everything I can, all my own personal funds up till now, to try to help other people, because I don't want others to suffer like I did without the help and support. But now it's all about getting people to talk so we can actually reduce the suicide rates in the construction industry. And I think we can do this, but obviously I need companies to back what I'm trying to do to help save lives in the industry. Thank you.
Sir?